folks, welcome to another FiddleHed fiddle lesson. Now I'm going to return to the tune Wabash Cannonball, and I'm going to add some fiddle variation to it. Okay? If you're a beginner and you haven't learned the tune yet at all, I recommend following the link in the comments field to the very basic version lesson of this tune to do first. Because this one is a little bit more involved, and I'm not going to really go into the melody as minutely as the first video. If you're an intermediate advanced player, you might be fine just watching this one and just starting from here, okay? I'll let you decide. Here we go. I'm going to just play this version that I came up with. Take it with a grain of salt. It's just some ideas. There's a million infinite different ways to play these tunes, but they all sound the same a little bit. Alright, so turned it into a fun little ditty there. And so I'm just going to kind of show you what I did relative to the basic version. So I'm going to play a little bit of the basic phrase and then what I added, and kind of going back and forth and working our way through the tune that way. Okay? Again, if you feel lost, you may want to go to the earlier version, the simple basic version. All right? So, in the very basic version, the first quarter is this. So now I'm going to play the first quarter of what I added. Basically, I add hoedown and some double stops. So, the rhythm I use is... So it's kind of like it's kind of like adding one hoedown at every, I don't know, 2 beats or every bar maybe. Yeah, it's like if you count 4, the first 2 beats have the hoedown, the 3 and the 4 are just quarter notes. So the basic rhythm I'm adding to this tune, to break it way down, is this. If you get that, practice that, then basically I'm going to kind of apply that to everything. I encourage you to, once you get this version I've showed you, to find your own way to do it, to play around with it. That's the fun in fiddling. Alright, so again we have... Okay. I'm going to go ahead and show the whole tune without double stops and then go back and add them later. So the second quarter will be like... And remember the basic version, for those of you who did that lesson. Alright, so, and here's the addition. Alright, moving on to the third quarter, the basic version was, and the rhythm I'm adding. Cool, I'll do that again. And then the fourth quarter of the basic version was, and I'll do that again. And then with the addition of this rhythm, it's... Alright. And then remember there's a second ending, a different fourth quarter when you do the whole thing again. And that ending, the basic version was... And then with the little rhythm added... Actually, I could do it again. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is kind of run through the tune without double stops for you to hear it and check it out. Try to play along if you can, or just listen. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. You know, if it ever doesn't make sense, just write me a message. You know, I'm always trying to improve these lessons, and so if you let me know, I'll definitely get back to you, and I'll also do my best to, in the future, make it more clear. All right, so now what I want to do is add double stops starting with the first quarter. So we're going to start with droning the G. Okay, and then when we go to the notes on the A, we'll drone the D. So I'm going to post a link to a technique video on how to play double stops, how to play a double stop scale, because that'll help a lot. But just in case you don't feel like doing that, here's a G major double stop scale. So I'll play G scale. Basically, to do this double stop scale, we play both G and D the whole time. We play, when we're playing the G, we're fingering the G, we drone the D. And when we're fingering the D, we drone the G. Alright. Again, I call that the double stop scale. And I'll hopefully remember to put a link to that in the comments field. But if you just practice that a little bit, this adding the double stops will be a lot easier. So again, here it is. The basic, this part without double stops. Now adding double stops. So I think if you get the idea on this first quarter, it'll kind of make the rest of it flow more easily. So let's take a moment and loop on that first quarter, playing it 3 times in a row. Again. One more time. All right. Good, good. Now let's do the second quarter, which was without double stops. So when we're on the A, we drone D. And then when we're fingering the G, we're going to drone the, when we're fingering the D string, we'll drone G. Putting it together, we have. Alright, now here comes a slightly tricky part. For the next phrase, the third quarter we had. So this time when we play on the D, instead of droning the G, we're going to drone the A. And that's, without going into too much of an explanation in this video on the chord theory, that's because it's in D major now. If you want to learn more about chords and chord theory, I'll put a link to lessons I have on how to play chords on the fiddle in the comments field below. And then that's followed by on A, and we're just going to drone the D now. So the whole third quarter with double stops. Okay, there's that again. All right, and then the fourth quarter was this. So there we're gonna start by droning the A. All right, and then we're gonna switch to D to D and G. No, that's wrong. We're gonna go. So we're always droning the A there. All right. So and now let's just do the final quarter. With the rhythm added, and now with double stops. So the first part of that phrase, we're drawing the A, and then we end by drawing the open G when we play that D3. So the whole last quarter of the tune here it is again. And again. Okay, thanks for sticking with it this far. Now I'm just going to play the whole tune with double stops added, alright? Feel free to listen or try to play along if you think you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last thing I'll suggest is you can do kind of like subtle slides on some of the fingered notes to make the double stop sound cool. So in that A1, you can do it on any of the fingered notes. I'm just going to give you some ideas for some of them. Just a little subtle slide. Just practice just that. And maybe practice sliding it and then playing it once up though. Alright, that might be a good way to get into this. So the whole first quarter with a slide added. Good. And let's add the slide at the beginning of the second quarter. I added it on D1 too. Whole second quarter. Third quarter. You can add it on the second finger if you like. So with variations, slides and variations in general, ask yourself if is it making the tune better? You know, maybe it's not, but on the other hand, just go ahead and play it, try to play around and have fun with it, and then at the end kind of go back to a simple version and see if it's working what you've added, okay? Anyway. So pretty much that applies to the rest of the tune. You can add slides as you see fit on the fingers, maybe start with 1 or 2. If you start sliding too much and you're a beginner, you're going to kind of lose your tonal center. So kind of go into it easy. May even wait to first get the double stops to sound really good before doing the slides. I'm going to close by doing it one more time slowly, and I'm going to add some slides so that while doing the whole thing. And yeah, this will be fun. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. See you next time on the FiddleHed channel. All right, bye.